So my co-host today is Mischief the cat. You'll hear her bell in the background. She's gotten hold of it, and I could wait for her to finish, but it could be a long wait, and also this is a break in the banging from my neighbour. So if you haven't followed my videos for a while, I have a neighbour who has been doing renovations for several months now and tends to bang for upwards of anywhere between 6 and 10 hours a day, which can put some limitations on my ability to get videos out. So when it comes to recording while the cat is ringing her bell, that's kind of unavoidable. So having said that, it has been a little while since I started on the Sami videos, and it's definitely been a little while since the last one came out, so much so that I actually had to go back and check out the last one to see where it was that I stopped off. So I'm going to continue with the Sami interview today. This is the Tony Dodge one, and just share my thoughts, anything that we may know as being factual based on what she's saying, etc. So let's jump back in and listen to some more of this Sami Smith interview with Tony Dodge.
So now when we watched the press conference, the police were saying that they're trying to get everyone that was at that party to come forward. So should we tell, should we get that message out as well to everybody that was at that party that they needed? Yeah. Who do they contact?
Well, I've been not in charge, but I've taken on the responsibility of trying to get in contact with everybody at that party.
Honestly, has there ever been a case when the person who should be the main suspect is actually asking people for tips? She's saying, well, I've been in charge. And then she realises, obviously, that sounds a little bit too much. So she corrects it to, well, I've taken the responsibility of trying to get in contact with everybody that was at the party. So while he's been basically trying to prompt her to talk about how people can contact authorities with their tips for Kylie's case, she's jumped in and hijacked that and basically said that she wants all the teens to be speaking to her. Honestly, it's like an episode of The Twilight Zone. This girl claims to have been the last person to see Kylie, or the last person to have known what happened to Kylie, and yet she's asking people for their tips. She's asking for all teens to go to her.
I've posted teen meetups, teen to teens, where there's no adults, no parents, and no media coverage. Everybody stays anonymous, and everybody does not get.
Any thoughts on what she was about to say there when she said everyone does not get, before she stopped herself?
Like, everybody is just talking teen to teen. We have interviewers, only about 7 or 8 of us, and that's the limit we're trying to keep it at, to keep the information kind of in a simple one source area that we can go to. And
because for someone who looks as guilty as what she does, why would you want the information to go beyond your little circle of friends where it might actually get to authorities? I find it so disturbing that she's talking about having this itty-bitty group of teens, which were obviously selected by her and which she later admits were trained by her, who were there to get information from all the other teens that attended the party, because she's made it pretty clear that that's her goal. She wants to speak to every single teen that was at the party. And sure, had it not been for the other things that she'd been talking about, her talking about, being with Kylie all night and them sharing drinks and everything. She drank out of, I drank out of, and I was the last person to see her. Were it not for those other things which are just so incriminating, then perhaps you could think, wow, this girl is just so enthusiastic, so dedicated to finding her friend, that she is determined to follow up with every single teen that attended the party. But we know that that's not the situation. And at the end of the day, if it was something totally innocent, wouldn't you be just begging for teens to cooperate with law enforcement? Because we know that law enforcement have the training and the skills to do proper interviews, not a teen-to-teen interview. This whole situation to me was just so very, very disturbing, and I worry that there was a lot of crucial information lost, and that there may have even been crucial photos and videos that were lost. I did read an account somewhere on Facebook where a person attributed one of the party photos that Sami had shared with the media, and this person attributed it to her own son and said it was actually a screenshot from a video that her son had given to Sami. So that to me is disturbing if that is the truth. Because to me, anything like that should have only ever been given to authorities. And you have her telling media, oh, this is the website, the Find Kylie website, and looking at that, where you go onto that website, there was a spot for uploading videos and uploading photos, and that was a website controlled by Sami Smith.
We've moved locations, multiple, trying to make things more convenient in the Tahoe area, in the Truckee area. We've held one last night, and then we held one tonight, and we had a lot of teens come out today and explain things. It's just a way for teens to not feel the pressure of getting in trouble by their parents, or to feel like the cops are going to get them in trouble, or to feel that the media will spread their face all over the internet. We're just trying to get teens to be honest, because kids will tell kids who they kissed, and kids will tell kids who they drank with.
I can't help wondering if at least part of the strategy, if not all, behind what she's saying here, where she's saying, well, you know, it's a safe place because kids don't want to talk to law enforcement where they might get into trouble, or their parents where they might want to get into trouble, or even where they might have their face spread around by the media. To me, it's almost an intimidation tactic. Come and talk to us, and we'll keep it super hush-hush and make sure that people don't find out about the things that you did at the party. We've heard so many comments about adults pressuring kids not to go forward, and the comments about, well, kids are off to college and they don't want their future ruined. And this ties in with that perfectly. The whole thing of come and speak to us because we'll keep it really hush-hush. Law enforcement don't have to know about anything that you did. Your family don't have to know about anything you did. The media will never find out about anything you did. You see where I'm going with this, don't you? It is disturbing. It is definitely, to me, some form of intimidation tactic. And imagine being a 17, 18-year-old teenager, and perhaps you have been privy to something really, really bad that happened, and you are a little bit scared. Maybe this does sound like the better option. Or perhaps even if you know that this person was responsible for what happened, perhaps listening to them say this might make you think, well, if I don't go and talk to them, they could land me in trouble. I can't believe that law enforcement did not shut down these teen-to-teen meetings from the very beginning.
So I am Sami Smith. I'm in charge of the teen-to-teen talks. I see a lot of faces here. I know a lot of you. We go to school together. I've seen you around at this party. I've seen you around.
Okay, I know I'm not really introducing anything new at this point in time, but it really is disturbing. She is calling out all the teens. She's saying she knows who they all are. Now that is such an odd thing to say if you are genuinely just wanting them to come forward and speak to somebody about what they know from the party. To me, it does sound like a veiled threat. I know who you are. I know who was at the party. You better come and speak to me, because otherwise you might find yourself in trouble. You know, the whole narrative of kids should come and speak to us, and the inference that they're going to get into trouble if they speak to authorities or if they speak to their parents, because that's what is going on here with these speeches that she's making, or in the Tony Lodge interview. There is that inference that the kids really should go to her because they are going to get into trouble with law enforcement or with their families otherwise.
Please, if you have given a statement to the police, that's fine. I don't care. I need every single teenager here.
This whole speech sounds so desperate. If you've already spoken to authorities, I don't care. Please speak to me. Now, that is such a bizarre thing to say, because let's not forget, by this point in time, surely if this girl is going around saying that she was the last person to see Kylie, surely she has already been interviewed by authorities at least once, meaning that she's going to know how thorough they are when they interview someone and take their statements. So why would you think that having teens go to you is going to make a difference if they've already been to law enforcement? Wouldn't you just feel happy that they've been to law enforcement and they've given a tip? And you would think, well, law enforcement are qualified to do these interviews, so I can feel confident that anyone that's been to law enforcement will have given them every bit of information that they possibly could have. But no, she's not worried about that. She wants every single teen to go to her, regardless of whether or not they've been to law enforcement. Surely she can't believe that she could do a better job than law enforcement. So to me, that reeks of someone who wants to shut down any talk about what happened at the party.
If you are willing to, and if you can, please realize how serious this is. I need you to come to me right now.
Now, people have pointed out how bad it sounds, her saying, I need you to come to me right now. But something that needs to be considered here also, which I think is even more important, in all the interviews that she did about Kylie, in all these speeches, you never hear her using I statements with regards to Kylie. I really wish people would help us to find Kylie. I really miss Kylie. I really want us to find Kylie. You never hear that. There's no I statements. Nothing to do with Kylie has personal connections for her. She's just talking the talk. But now you have her talking about wanting teens to do these teen-to-teen things, and she's saying, I need you to do this. She's not saying, we need you to do this for Kylie. No, she personally needs those teens to go to her. So the fact that you don't hear her using I statements when she's pleading specifically about Kylie, even though she doesn't really plead, but you don't hear I statements when she's talking about Kylie. But now, when she's talking about people going to her for these meetings, she is using an I statement, but not about Kylie or anything, about her. I need you to do this.
If you can, please come give us a teen-to-teen talk. We are getting more information that's more personal, completely confidential. Parents, encourage your kids, but do not force them to. This is not something they have to do. It's highly encouraged, but please, all teenagers that are here right now, please come talk to us right now. Please, if you were all teenagers, it doesn't matter if you win. It doesn't matter if you know her or if you've ever even heard of her. We need you there right now, please. This could be what saves her.
Now, surely if this was simply about gathering tips to pass on to law enforcement, then you would have no interest in talking to the kids who have never met Kylie, who didn't go to the party, who know nothing about the party. So what is going on here? You would want to be efficient with your interviews. You'd want to have just the important information coming in. She's said there's 6 or 7 of them doing it. And yet she's begging for pretty much every kid in the area to go and speak to her, regardless of if they know anything. That's got nothing to do with trying to find Kylie, in my opinion. Why would you need kids who know nothing to go see you, other than to make sure that any rumours or gossip that's going around is shut down? Because at the end of the day, investigators aren't interested in hearsay information. They want tips from people who have experienced or seen things directly. Sure, tips are good if you can say, well, such and such told me this, and maybe they would follow up on it. But she's not even asking for that. She's not even asking if you heard something about the party. She's saying, even if you know absolutely nothing, come and see me. Why does she need them to see her? The only thing I can think of is that it is definitely a strategy to shut down the spread of information before it begins.
You could save her life with any information you give us. Please meet us over at that pop-up.
Now, all the bits of text that you see are because this clip comes from Zavgirl's channel. This was a difficult clip to get hold of because of audio problems. A lot of the versions of this had really, really poor audio. So the Zavgirl version was the best audio. So I disagree with the question, what are they hiding? And I know some people have used her saying, well, this, if you come and speak to us, this could save her life. I know people are saying, well, they know something more. Perhaps Kylie has been abducted and they know that, and they need to get people to speak up. And perhaps Kylie was alive at this point in time because Sami is saying this. I don't take it as that whatsoever. To me, this is 100% a guilt trip. There are probably kids who maybe have seen a little bit of what occurred at the party and she wants to shut them up. So this was on the 9th, I think? 9th or 10th, I can't remember. But this was only a few days in. So to me, saying that if you come to us and speak to us, you might be able to save her life, I think this is definitely intended as a guilt trip and emotional manipulation. purely and simply. She's trying to convince all the teenagers to go to speak to her. Now, if you're a teenager and you think you know nothing about it, what's going to convince you to go and speak to these kids about what happened, even though you know nothing about it and you have no information to give? Emotional manipulation. And to me, that is spot on what this is about. I don't believe that she was trying to suggest in any way that Kylie really was still alive at this point in time.
So we have started to hold teen-to-teen talks, which is where teens are able to come and talk to us as facilitators, and just able to be there without the pressure of parents, the pressure of media, the pressure of adults and police.
She seems to have that part of the script down pat. Each time she speaks about these teen-to-teen meetings, it's always about the importance of the teens going to them so that they're not getting in trouble with any other outside sources.
So that they feel more comfortable talking with another teen to come forward and maybe share some information that they were scared to before this. Yeah.
And there we go again with references to things being scary. Why would teens be scared to share information? This once again takes me back to the speculation that something bad did happen at this party and that there were plenty of witnesses to whatever it was that happened. Why was there a mass exodus of cars at 12:30? Why are we so often hearing about things being scary or horrific, etc.? You don't have that just from someone going missing.
And the one that we just had in Tahoe City was by far like the biggest showing of kids that we've had. We probably had somewhere between like 50 and 70 kids show up. And they all, like everybody helped us. All the information that we got was good, and
It helped us move further.
Yeah, we've really made progress.
So is this just a pair of teens trying to sound like adults? Trying to speak in a way that they think adults would speak with regards to people coming and giving them tips? Or is there something more to them saying, it helped us to move further? Move further towards what? It's a really odd statement. Both of them made really odd statements here. And I don't know, like I said, if it's them just trying to sound like adults, trying to behave in a way that they think they should behave because it's an interview, or whether there is more to what they're saying here.
With the information that we've gotten.
Whether that means we have to travel to Reno, to Incline, to South Tahoe, wherever we can to talk to kids. We're offering rides now. It's for kids who may not be able to get out. We're asking parents to allow their kids to attend these meetings, as it is crucial to this.
Now here's the thing, you're going to have two different types of parents here. The parents who don't want their kids involved, meaning that they're not going to have their kids go and speak to these kids or to law enforcement. They're going to make sure that their kids aren't involved whatsoever. And then you're going to have the parents who want to do the right thing. And those parents are the sort of parents who would support their kids, go with them to law enforcement and sit with them while they do their interviews. So in terms of asking parent involvement here and saying, parents, let your kids do this, it's just crazy. It just seems insane. Because to me, the only point of these interviews is, as she said, would be for kids who are too scared to let their parents know that they were somehow involved or that they saw something. So why are you going to bother asking parents to allow your kids to go? unless it is intended to pressure kids to make it to these interviews. Well, we can't get kids to come to these interviews, so now we're going to beg for parents to push their kids to come to these interviews and make them come and speak up so that we can shut them up.
And we will do anything. We offer food, we offer snacks.
She talks about the desperation and that they will do anything, but I have not once, in the instances when she's been talking about the teen-to-teen meetings, ever heard her turning around and pointing out that this is about Kylie. Aside from the little, you could save her life, you never hear any pleas for help us find Kylie. It's always about her desperation for every teen to speak to her, and her being willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that every teen does go and speak to her.
We have had a great output yesterday when we had the Tahoe Teen to Teen. What a teen to teen talk is no parents, no media, no cops, no adults. It's just kids talking to kids. Your kids have best friends that are their ages. Your kids are comfortable talking to their friends. And hopefully what we're trying to do is that they can come to us and they can talk to us. They can tell us what they saw. They don't have to have the pressure of these cops. They don't have the pressure of the adults. They don't have the pressure of everything else that's going on. Something else could be going on in their life, but what's important is that they know that we are there to talk. We're not trying to get them in trouble. We're not trying to tell their parents on them or get them grounded or have the police on them.
Now, bearing in mind that when she's making all these speeches, police have already said that they're basically giving teens indemnity for drinking or taking alcohol at the party. So, what is she referring to when she's saying we don't want to have the police on them? Because she's not promising anything different there from the police, unless there is a particular reason why police would be interested in specific teens. Now, I will let the rest of this just play out because I think everything I've said before this covers what is said here anyway. But just why are all those law enforcement individuals sitting there behind her and allowing this speech to continue? What sort of alternate reality are these people in?
We can do completely anonymous tips. Everything helps. We've had a lot of kids say that, oh, I already gave out my witness statement. That's great. These are one-on-one interviews though. These can pop up, spark anything in your mind that you might remember. And these are crucial, and we have so much more evidence, many more things to work on based off of just our one in Tahoe yesterday. I want to make this clear that this is open to anybody that may have not gone to one yet. And you are welcome to come to Teen to Teens. Here at the Rec Center, we have everything set. Like, you can do Teen to Teens at any time. If you need me to drive out at 3 a.m. in the morning to meet you, I will. I will drive to people's houses. We can get you rides. We can get you there. We can talk to you anywhere you need. We just have set places so that there can be rally points. But
honestly, what's with the desperation? Now, we've heard law enforcement making their speeches to people asking for more tips and everything, but the way Sami comes across is really desperate. I don't know if that is just a teen trying to act like someone involved in the investigation, whether she's trying to follow the same behaviour that law enforcement were doing and she's kind of missed the mark, or whether she is just utterly desperate.
We really just need every teenager to come out and talk. I heard that question earlier about the deportation and ICE and everything. I don't know you. I don't have to know you. I will act like I've never seen you once before in my entire life, even if you are my best friend. I will act like this is the first time. I will take your name to jail. If they try to question me for that, I don't care. I will not give up your name.
Once again, this is a good spot to stop the video, and the next video we'll move on to a slightly different topic with the Tony Dodge interview. But I thought it was important to put all these little snippets together where she's talking about the teen-to-teen interviews, so we can have a look at the way her narrative runs and the way it is so similar each time, and just look at the message that she is trying to convey, not just verbally but on other levels. So thanks for listening. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Please hit the like, and also please leave a comment below.
I begin to wonder